Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this flip card. Before I get going, I would like to say that this card was requested by Peggy. She had seen a video by Shrishti Patil and asked if I could make the card only in inches. My card is my take on Shrishti's card, so I will show you Shrishti's card first of all, because I did this as my prototype to find out. I couldn't understand how it worked, to be honest with you, but it opens like that, and then these here opens like other flaps as well. Okay, when Shrishti opens it, she gets hold of the bottom one and pulls it, and I just couldn't understand how that was working because I'd watched the video and you could see how she's gluing things down, and I had to see it and see it right through to the end and try it myself before I fully understood it. So this is my take. Obviously, because I'd like to try and keep my time down, I've only done this on one side rather than both sides. But having done that like this, I thought I like it like this now with the sides. So I could put another sentiment on, somewhere to sign the greeting card. And I've actually put a little tab on the bottom here to open this up. Okay, and this one I have actually finished off properly. My first card that I did, when I was adjusted all the sizes so that I could come up with the A4 size card, so this is what I did on this one. Okay. And the designer series paper in here, I went through about 3 or 4 different packs of designer series paper so I could find enough in the same similar sort of pattern, in the same colour rather. But I love this, really totally in love with this. The paper is from it's one of the gifts called Be Dazzling in the celebration promotion at the moment, and it's only available until 30th of September this year. So this is the card I'm going to show you how to make. This one I've done, as I call it, as colourful, because it's got like red, green. It does have the, well, I thought that was really like crumb cake, but it's not really. It's cinnamon cider and also early espresso. Okay, so let me first of all tell you the card pieces that you're going to need. As you'll see, I'm only using like 2 colours. So the first colour is cinnamon cider, and this piece measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8. I will put all the measurements in the box below the video. Excuse me. And I will also put the metric measurements for A4 cardstock users, and I'll try and work out the inches for the US people who use letter size. I think I can do it, but I might have to come back to it in a couple of days, so don't give up on me, please. So there's that piece. Then you will need 3 pieces of early espresso, and these measure 4 inches by 5 5/8 inches. And then you need a small card which measures 5 inches by 3 1/2 inches, scored and folded at 2 1/2 inches. Then you need another card, and this is 5 3/4 inches by 3 1/2 inches, scored and folded at 2 7/8 inches. 1 piece of basic white cardstock which measures 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches. 1 piece of Be Dazzling cardstock which measures 4 inches by 4 inches. Another piece that measures 1 inch by 3 inches. Another piece which, measures 1 3/8 inches by 1 13/16 inches. This is to do the layer underneath that. So if you want it to be absolutely precise, it is the 1 13/16, but you can adjust that slightly for yourself if you don't like 16ths, which I totally understand. Right, now for the smaller card, which is this one, for the 2 pieces in here, 2 different pieces of designer series paper, and these both measure oh no, I haven't written it in there, don't panic. In fact, it's probably easier just to measure it, isn't it? They measure 3 3/8 by 2 3/8. All of my designer series paper that I'm using for this card, apart from the Dazzling, from the 6x6 designer series paper packs. There are several different designs here because I've got different packs from different years. We have new designs every year, and I don't always buy them because I don't always get through them, but I've got all of these. So I have a lot of papers that need to be used. So that was 2 of the designs. And then for this one, you need 3 designs. And these are the designs I'm using for this one. This is this year's design, by the way. All 3 of these. And these measure 3 3/8 inches by 2 3/4 inches, because you're going to put 2 in the middle. That's how I'm going to have mine. And then you want 1 on the back as well. And then you also need 2 pieces, for 1 for the front cover and 1 for the inside, the layer at the back there. And those 2 measure, double check it this way, 3 7/8 by 5.5 inches. This is an easy card to make once you understand how it actually works, which is a bit that really threw me. So I'm going to start off by gluing some of these pieces together. The bits and pieces that I've used to decorate my card with, and what I'm going to be using for this card as well, are from the did I not bring that over? Oh, from the Gingerbread and Peppermint 6x6 pack, and all the images I've taken are these. There's about 5 different sheets, I think, with these designs on. They can all be die cut with the dies, except for the Christmas tree and also the mitten. They need to be fussy cut, but they're very, very easy to do. But that's where all my designs have come from. And these are the patterned papers, which are really very nice, but I felt they were too busy for what I was doing to my card. Okay, so that's why I went to my ordinary 6x6 pads. Also with this, before I forget to tell you, there's one of the designs here which has on the bottom of it, this one, a whole row of these. So if you're careful, you could cut that out, so you've got a strip to use as a design. And also in the dies, there are dies to cut all of these shapes out as well. And I've seen the dies, but I haven't, oh, and yes, and those circles, but, oh, and these as well. Let me show you the dies, rabbiting along like that. Okay, so it's these for the die cuts, and you can die cut the individual bits as well, which I have done. Let me just show you those, because I did these with these glitter paper. Let me put them on here for you. I just think this paper is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so these were die cut with these here. Okay, don't know if you can see them sparkle or not. Yes, I think you can. Okay, so that's those. But all of these circles here and all of these here will die cut these things in this paper. So it looks like, I haven't checked it, but it looks like every bit of these designs can be die cut, with the exception of the Christmas trees and the mittens. And the other things I really liked about it is when you die cut these, okay, this is one that's got a die cut. Can you see how it's got the brown edge on it? Let me put that on a white sheet so you can see it. It die cuts right up to the edge, so there's no white on there. It's just all like the brownie cinnamon cider colour. So if you haven't thought about getting this set, you may like to think about it. I have certainly been impressed with it since I've been playing with this. I had initially bought it because I believe this is one of the sets that the Create With Us team will be using. I need to double check on that one. And I do like to be able to play before I actually go for it. The writing on here isn't Christmas writing, but that doesn't matter. It's in probably 4 different languages, I imagine. French, German, English, and hopefully there's Dutch there as well, which are the 4 languages that Stampin' Up! Do produce stamp sets in. Now on this card I have increased the size of my middle layers and my top layers. Okay, this is what my normal sizes look like with that kind of a gap, but this is what I've done on here so that I've got a bigger area to work on. So there's that one. Now this one comes on here. Let's turn that one over. Another idea that I had with this, oh, I've forgotten to show you something. Another idea was that you could easily put inside the card a little extra pocket so that you could put a gift card in there. And let me just get this piece on. And what I mean is, obviously this isn't the right one for this card, but if you had a piece of cardstock like that, you could adhere that there with tearing tape, just one side of it obviously, down there and down there, so just slide the card in there, so you've still got room for a sentiment there and room to write your greeting. Or you could always write your greeting underneath here or on that bit there. But before I go on too far, let me show you the other thing that I'll do it on this one. Okay, I showed you the original where there's this and on that side as well. But the other thing you could also do is you could put this on the front of the card. Okay, I mean I wouldn't put that on the inside of a card, but have something different on the inside. You could also put it on a card that way, so you got the flap opening there. Or you could do it that way, so you got the flap opening that way. Where'd that come from? Oh, I'm not going to try and pull that off at the moment. I've got a little half of a mini dimensional there. But as I say, you can put these on the inside, on the outside. You can have it this way, whichever way you want. So very, very versatile. So big thanks to Peggy, who requested this card. With all the ideas I've had about this one, I could have started a whole week beforehand and finished up actually doing the ideas and showing them to you. But I think this has probably got to be one of the most versatile cards ever. Okay, so that's the basic card, alright. Oh, we got this one as well, haven't we? Obviously there is a lot of layering here to do, but most of the time I can keep you amused by talking to you. So yes, I've given you the different ideas about that. I'm also going to be die cutting one of the little things around here because I struggled with it a bit, so I want to show you how I did it and I don't struggle now. Okay, that's that one. I didn't worry about doing anything to, like a belly band or anything for this card, because I don't really think it's that wide. But you could do if you wanted to. The other thing that I did was, on the first one, I put some ribbons to pull the card, so the flap, like the working mechanism, this one here, but I decided I didn't like having the ribbons there to pull it down by, so I left it out for this card, didn't do anything. And then when I gave it to hubby, because I always give my fancy folds to him to try to, I don't explain what he has to do with them, I do leave him to work it out for himself. And he said, oh, you need a tab on it, so that's what I did on this one, like the little tab there. And then when I gave him this one, he just opened it like this. I think I've got some glue there somewhere. Oh, I'll have to go over with my embossing buddy to move that. Right, so now these two, the little card, you want 2 pieces on the inside. So that's these two. Have one, I think, like the spotty bit at the top. Shrishti's video is less than 4 minutes long. Very, very well edited and everything. I mean, it's very, very slick, and her videos are good. Or at least the card designs she comes up with really are amazing. But I really did have to stop, start so many times. Right, so that's that one. As I say, this is this year's designs on the 6x6 paper packs. The nice thing about these paper packs is you've always got designs in any colour that you want to use, any of the Stampin' Up colours you want to use. And the designs are designs that don't actually date. So if, like me, you don't use all of your designs, just make sure that was a small one, they'll still be usable the next year. So that's going to go on the back. Yep, that has been cut on the upside down side on the trimmer, so it's got the edge sticking up. So I always like to flatten it down. So let's do this one first. I remember to bring a bottle of Tombow over with me today, because I'm sure that I will run out, especially with having so much to do. Square one there. That was the only design I didn't think was suitable for a Christmas card. It looks too summery. It's like a flower. You may disagree with me on that. It's just like I didn't like any of the designs that had like brickwork or wood, tree. No, trees would have been right. Didn't see any of those, but woodwork. Now with this, once you've got your card like this, and I have to say that it is a lot better if you don't worry about if you don't use directional patterns. I have on the front of my card, because those 2 pieces are fine. I know that those two are going to be like that. But for this, the first time I started doing it, I knew that I wasn't going to use any directional patterns. I mean, stripes, if I got that wrong, it really wouldn't matter. But if I got writing wrong, that would look silly. Right. Okay, so they're all the bits put together. So what we need now is, we put this together first, I think. And what you need to do is This is a smaller piece, okay, nothing on the outside. That one's the bigger piece. And what you need to do is you need to put glue all over the back of this and adhere it on here. And you'll find that you've got, that is longer than this one, okay? If I move to the edge, you can see how much longer that is. Okay, so put my, if you're bothered about which way you want your designs to go, that's how this is going to go in your card. So that's the piece that's going to be glued down, okay? Don't glue the piece you want at the top once it's in your card. And obviously if you want to do both sides, you just double up on what I'm showing you. I'm going to open that up, and I need that to line up perfectly. Okay, so make sure it's lining up here as well as down here. There we go. Okay, so what you want to do now, that one that you want at the top, which is my spotty one, and that design there, that goes at the bottom, that goes at the top of your card. Now to adhere this inside here, you need to put some glue on this piece, but you've got to leave yourself a space down here so that this card will slide inside. So what you need to do is you need to draw a line 1/2 inch up from where this is. In fact, I think that may be why my card's sticking a bit, because I did it with that closed. I did it from there. Yes. Okay, right, so I'm just lining this up here because I know these squares, because I'm on the inches side, I know the squares are at, let's turn it up the other way. Each square is 1/4 inch. So line that up, line that up. Does that look straight? It doesn't to me. Let me bring this closer. Not at all. Right, okay. I'm going to go to the top of that pencil line and the bottom of this pencil line, so that will be fine. Okay, so now I'm going to put glue on this piece. Now this piece, you need to centre it right in here. So just pop it down so that it's got the same amount of gap all the way round. In fact, that was quite a smart move to put writing in here. Okay, don't try moving it just yet, that does need a little bit of time to dry. So I need to do 2 bits of stamping. The other bits I've got ready to go in, and I also want to do this piece. So I'll do the stamping first, then I'll bring over my big shot. So the 2 sentiments I'm using, It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year is from Classic Cloche, and Wishing You a Merry Christmas is from Frosted Gingerbread. These images I'm using are from the, as I say, they're from the Designer Series paper, but you can actually stamp them, okay, and all of these too. So let me just move those out of the way, bring a stamp set in. Oops. Pop that there. Oh, I forgot to tell you, you will need some scraps of basic white cardstock for your sentiments and possibly your images if you're going to be stamping them. That's not quite long enough, is that? Let's move that over a bit. Okay. Now, I wanted to show you this as well. I've always said that how much easier these are to use when you've got the little inking spots. And I have got a video showing how to make a box using the double size stamp box that Stampin' Up used to sell. But now I've got so many of them, I needed something else to keep mine in. So I've used one of these little files that you get from a stationery store. I don't know how well you're going to see this. Okay, it's like, probably call it an A4 size, but it's great because the ink spots fit in there beautifully, so that when I'm storing them I can tip them upside down so all the ink pads are up that way. Okay, right, I want to use Early Espresso, and you will see some of these ink pads, ink spots are Stampin' Up spots, whereas these others are ones that I've bought the uninked spots and done my own. My video also shows you how to make these as well, which are little dauber things that go on the end, which make it a lot easier to use. I'll try and remember to put the number in the box below. And the way that you get these, most of them for me have come from buying all-inclusive kits, because you always get 2 of these. In fact, we've got another one coming on the 8th of September, and it's a paper pumpkin, and that one is going to have 2 ink spots in, so they're quite easy to collect. Now the reason I say this is so much easier is do this without getting ink all over the place, and then stand that down like that, so that's nice and easy as well. I was out of view there, wasn't I? Let's try that again. In fact, is that reverse side white? Not really. Let me put a bit of white paper in. There we go, that's better. Okay, so ink it up, stand it down so it's out of the way. I would normally have it further out, but I want to make sure that I am actually showing you. From here it looks like green. What's it say on the lid? Early Espresso. I'm right. Okay, so those are going to be die cut. That can go away. This can go away. I just use our daubers for this. I pulled off the spongy bit off the front there. I'll put that all away later. You don't want to sit there while I'm tidying up, I'm sure. Now I need to die cut. Right, I'll do the 2 easy bits first, which are the 2 sentiments. Right, let me just cut these off a bit. There we go. So I'm going to tip that at an angle if I can. And the dies that I'm using for this one are from Stitched Rectangles. And I'm using number 2 from the Slim dies and this standalone die. Now this one, it will touch end to end, just about touches the I and the L. And this one fits in there really nice and snug. Okay, let me just have a quick look. Yes, that's good. Okay. I thought I'd smudged the ink there, but it was a bit of fluff. I've done that crooked. Not to worry, I'm not going to worry about it now. What I will do is later on, I will do another one of these and just glue it on top of there so it covers it up. That's my cheats way of putting that right. So the next thing I want to show you is how to die cut the, what have I done? You saw it, didn't you? I showed you. Right, let me show you what I'm wanting to be cutting, die cutting. I thought I have done one ahead of time, but I thought I will show you this because it was a struggle for me, and just in case anybody else struggles too. Right, you didn't stick it in there anywhere, did you? Have you put it over here? Nope. Have you put it here? Nope. Here? Nope. Okay. Let's take another piece then. I wonder if you're shouting at me. Have you seen it? This is the only advantage, I think, of doing lights. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take another piece. I'm going to use my trimmer. You probably won't be able to see all of this. Oh, I don't know. Maybe you can. Oops, go back. There we go. Okay, I need a piece that's 4 by 4. Okay. And yes, I do use my trimmer for cutting this paper. Whoops. And 4. You'll see why I actually cut this piece down rather than using a big 6 by 6 piece. So let's come back. Right, these are the pack of dies, and they are called Encircled in Beauty, and I am going to be using these two. I don't really need it to cut the circle out, but that's an extra part of this die. It worked out well for me. I liked it that it cut it out for my first card, which was this one, so that I could put the picture in the middle. But for this one I wanted it in, so I just put it back, glued it in there again. Right, so what do I do? So first of all, put that one upside down, and then this one, you will notice one bit is square. You may not. Let me have a look here. Right, yes, one bit is pointed and one bit is straight, pointed straight. Okay, and that's what you need to line up with on here, because you've got a pointed bit and a straight bit. There we go. And if you've cut yourself a piece 4 by 4, then you won't be wasting too much. You may decide to actually keep your offcut because you could get little stars out of this bit. Because I did think that on the other one I might put a star on the top of the Christmas tree. There we go. I think that's close enough. Maybe not. Yes, good, good. I think. Well, I could be here all day fiddling with that, so let's go for it. Now what I do is, first of all, now listen to the crunch. I don't know whether you'll hear it because the machine makes a bit of noise, but listen to the crunch of this. You hear that? That's a lovely sound. I like that. So bring it back again. And then I use a shim, which is a double piece of paper, which has been through this machine several times. And then I bring it back through again. And the bit that really makes the cut happen is by turning this around. And that's why I say have a piece that's 4 by 4, because 6 by 6 you wouldn't be able to turn it unless you turned it totally 90 degrees. So that's through. And that's through. Now let's move that out of the way. Move this out. And I have here my sponge. Move that over there. To move that piece off. And that. This is where I think that you've got enough room to do some stars or something. And then if you move this, oh no, move that one, that's right. And then with this, I used my take your pick tool, and I bought the extra, the die brush to go with it. And this is brilliant. I'm not saying this is going to bring all the pieces out, but you won't be fighting with them. You won't find that bit of it will come out and you have to pull it so it tears the cardstock or anything. So you just knock them and they're coming out quite easily. Anything that doesn't come out first time, I wait until second time around, which is when I turn it over and look it from the reverse side. Before I started doing it so that with the turning it, I think that's the bit that really does it for making it oh dear. Excuse me. In fact, excuse me while I just have a drink of water. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over now because it's quite easy to see them. Then I'm going to use my other take your pick, because I bought 2 of them, so that I don't have to keep changing which end I've got. If you buy a take your pick, this one, what you get is you get the sticky end, which is great for picking up things like sequins and such like. So you get one and you get a refill. You get the paper piercer end, and on the end of this paper piercer inside here there's a small little like palette knife, and you also get this here, which is scoring tool, small one end, bigger the other end, and you just unclip these and that goes in its place. The kit, the first bit, is £9 in the UK, I'm not sure other countries, but that is amazing value. And the brush, I think, is also £9. I just felt that at £9 I could afford to treat myself for another one. There we go, that's all the pieces. Let me just bring these over. Oh, I've got my ink spots on my rubbish bin. So, right, so let's put those back. And what I'm wanting to do is to pop this onto here. In fact, what I think I'm going to do, I'll show you what I'm going to be using. I've got one of the mittens, I've got the bell, the bauble, the snowflake. I've got 2 snowflakes, 2 balls. Oh, don't want that one. What else have I got? And this one. So there's 4 that get die cut. That's those 4. That was fussy cutting. I must have another umbrella. Oh, there it is. Christmas tree. Okay, so that's all that I'm using for this one. And it was a Christmas tree that I want to do with this. So I think I need that with the bottom there. Or could I do it without? Oh, I'm going to do that without. Look, that looks much nicer. Definitely. Okay, so I'm going to adhere the, what should we call this? A wreath? Not really a wreath, is it? Doily. I'm going to call that a doily. And I have my piece of scrap paper here, just in case I put too much glue on here. There's a dot there not coming out. Come on. Oh, I've just tipped it upside down, shining from the back. That's better. Right. What I do for gluing here, I just do, oh good grief, I just do a little bit from the top. Let's put that in there. Okay, all the round there, just very, very lightly. It's just that sometimes Tombow makes up its own mind that it's going to suddenly push a lot of the glue out, which is when I tend to dab it on my paper. And then I do around the bottom here as well. Right, I don't worry about doing anything extra after that. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? I think that is absolutely stunning. Right, so for my Christmas tree, I'm going to pop that up on dimensionals, which I have over here. And what I think I will do is one at the top and these 2 here, because they're going to be going onto the paper, the bedazzling paper. I'm going to put small dimensionals on there, and then I'm going to put little glue dots on them. I just like to make sure that the glue dots are going to, the dimensionals are going to actually hold everything in place. In fact, if I just do 3 like that, then I can just do 3 sides. I don't think I need them there, do I? No. Okay. Right, now take the paper off before you put glue dots on. And I said just 3, didn't I? I wouldn't have thought about putting these 2 colours together, I have to say. But I think they work really, really well. So what I do with my glue dots, they're right under my nose. So that's 1 for there. 1 for there. 1 for there. I'm going to hold this up to do this. In fact, I'm going to hold this here. There we go. And my sentiment, my one that's gone wonky, but will be corrected. Now what I did last time was I glued that there and then popped this one up on dimensionals because I thought that was, in fact if I only do 2 and just use ordinary dimensionals for the sake of the video, afterwards it'll be much easier just to pull these 2 off. So that I can stamp it again and hopefully get it straight next time. This one's going, the base is going to be glued down. So I'm just following through with what I've done with the others, with the Christmas tree rather. Oh, again, straight lines. There we go. That tree needs something else. So it may be the star up the top there or something. Maybe a bow at the bottom. Don't know yet. Whatever I do, you'll be able to see it on the video. There we go. Oh, that's much better. That's what's wrong with that one. It's not sticky. I didn't leave enough room. Okay. And also, shall I do the tab down here, show you what I did with that? What have I got over here? I have a 1-inch punch. And what colour do we want? Early espresso. Let's find a nice little scrap. There we go. As you know, I'm always saying don't just fold paper in half because you do get an unpleasant looking fold, and even a 1-inch dot I recommend that you do actually score it. It really doesn't take much to do it. Okay, so 1 inch, just line it up between that 1/2 inch mark and that 1/2 inch mark. There we go. That's it, and you get such a lovely fold. And the way that I glued this was I want it to come down a bit lower this time. It's not easy because you're trying to glue it onto this piece, which is obviously all the way down here. So let me make sure that I'm in view. Yes, I am. I'm going to put a little bit there. I'm going to put a little bit there. And then there and there. And what I want to do is to get this so that my score line is level with that brown line there, which it is. Let's give that a few seconds to get a hold. Then it's okay to come out. Oops, glue. I know what I'll do to help it along. One glue dot there. One glue dot at the back. That will keep it together whilst Tom's bow is drying. trying to make sure that I've got it sort of halfway along. Don't forget that you've got glue on this bit as well to help it stick properly. Okay, if you've got nice, neat, small handwriting, you've got a white gel pen, just write pull on that. Not sure that I would try it, my writing isn't one of my best features. Okay, so there's that. Now this one. Okay, so here we go again, only this one I'm going to stick right down because this is on the inside of the card. I don't want to add dimensionals to it, so I'm going to use glue dots. I'm going to use 5. I'm going to do one in each corner, or towards each corner, and then one in the centre. And that should do beautifully. There we go. And glue. No straight lines to help me this time. So, don't think it really matters which order these go in, does it? I think I'll start off with the snowflake because that's really very attractive. As I say, I'm not putting any dimensionals on these at all. So there's that one. So how about a bell and a star? So I've still got this left and the bauble, haven't I? That's okay because I'm going to decorate down there. That's the result. I wasn't sure what I was going to do there. In fact, if there were 2 bells, I could do that, couldn't I? There's 2 baubles. I could do that. Okay, let's put the bell down here. And we can have 2 baubles. So all we're left over with is a mitten really that we haven't used. Oh, there's something on the back that I could do it, isn't there? There we go. That looks good. Oops, I didn't do you, did I? I thought I'd moved it. So we have the star. So we put the mitten there. If you wanted to do this on that side, what you could do is put a white small label there for you to write your sentiment, your greeting on. So do make sure that when you put that pencil line on here, do it as I showed you, okay? Otherwise you're going to have yours getting a bit sticky like this one. Okay, I mean it works, but it's not quite as free as that one. So there we go, that's today's project. Thank you very much, Peggy. Very much appreciated this one. I've enjoyed it, really have. I hope you have too. Let's put that one in the middle. As I say, all the measurements for inches and metric for A4 cardstock users and inches for letter size cardstock users will be in the box below, plus all the ingredients that I've used for these two cards, and each product will have a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. And if you do decide to shop with me, first of all, I'd be really grateful, because this is the last month to earn the incentive trip for next year, and I'm struggling a bit, so any help you could give me would be greatly appreciated. If you do shop with me, thank you. And this is the HOSTESS code to put on your order before you check out. And at the beginning of October, when I send out Happy Mail to my customers, which is always a handmade thank you card from me, unused, with an envelope, plus a handmade thank you gift, with that code you'll also get some free product as well. So it really is happy mail. If you've enjoyed my video and would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please click on the subscribe button down in the bottom right hand corner there, and then click on the bell. Then you'll be notified. And don't forget that celebration is still on until the 30th of September. So if you like this paper as much as I do, you can still get it until then as a gift for a qualifying order, which in UK is £45, sorry, and in euros it's €60. Oh, and also my customers who spend more than £45 or €60 during September will also get the next 15 project PDF from the International Create With Us Stampin' Up team, Stampin' Up demos. So a lot of goodies for shopping with me. My appreciation is absolutely immense. So many thanks for joining me today. Look forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, happy crafting. Cheerio.